Netflix.
I did see that. I was like, "Oh, this is great!" Just in time as we're getting into the last.
And I think
months.
it's right on the movies we're starting on. I don't know if it's 4 and up or 5 and up.
It's 4 and up because I saw that
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol was on there.
Oh man! All right, Netflix. Why you be listening in? Thanks for helping. Thanks for the assist, Netflix Canada, by adding Mission Impossible 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many more do we have to watch?
Well, it's 4, 5, and 6. Is it? And then isn't it 7 coming out? Dead Reckoning. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So we have 4, 5, and 6. So which is helpful for our Mission Mondays.
Yeah,
people can now, instead of, if you don't have Paramount Plus and you don't own the Mission Impossible series, now you can go to Netflix Canada and watch the next 3 movies. The first Monday every month. I feel like, though, so Netflix obviously listened to us, and all of a sudden, bang, this happened. What was the last thing that happened just a couple weeks ago? We were talking about it, and then like 3 days later, all of a sudden,
Man on Fire. We start talking about Man on Fire,
right?
And all of a sudden, like, Man on Fire TV show coming up, and we're like, okay. Yeah. What else can we will into existence, Rob? What do you want to see? What do you want to happen?
Jack Reacher season 2 dropping in August.
Oh, you want to rush? You want an early Jack Reacher? You don't want any more of your Turbo Kid or whatever the hell that damn show was that we brought up last time.
Turbo Teen.
Watch it come up. Watch it come up because we talked about it.
Turbo Teen. Who would be the it actor right now that would do it? Who is like, I don't know any teen actors.
Noah Centineo.
No, maybe like Chase Liefeld, because he's like been like, Rob Liefeld's son's been getting into a whole bunch of like acting stuff, right? He's in like that Teen Wolf, the revival show. He's in some Disney basketball series or whatever. Make him Turbo Teen.
Okay, sure. No, not gonna happen. Okay. It will, folks. If Turbo Teen comes back, it's a crazy feat, and we know 100% that someone is listening in here. So thank you, anybody, whoever is slipping those notes, Netflix or whatever. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Monday. It's Easter Monday, right? It's holiday for some, right?
It's a bank and government holiday, which meaning schools and everything else. Yeah, but schlubs like us have to work.
Suckers. No, I'm joking. I was watching the kids today, but thank you for giving us your Monday night, and hopefully you're gonna have some laughs with us and be entertained. Are you not entertained?
Oh,
I don't know if that really comes out as Russell Crowe. That sounds a little bit.
No, it doesn't.
British.
It sounds really weird.
Yeah. Are you not entertained? Who is that?
It sounds like a really bad. No, it is from Gladiator, but it sounds like
you're doing Idris Elba. Maybe. Are you not? No, I don't know.
No, it sounds like you're doing it from like a really bad villain from Sherlock.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I'm bad at accents. So
yes.
Anyways, crikey, mate, let's go.
We should let those who are listening on the podcast after the fact, let them know that you're listening to the Sidekick Show with John Ho and me, Rob Gaudette. Thank you for tuning in every Monday night live, 8:15 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know where else we're at. It's been a while since we've had a Heroes World main podcast. I'm assuming that one is coming down the pipe soon.
We're gonna have to do one where we just cover everything that's come out. We're gonna have to do John Wick. We're gonna have to do Shazam 2 because of a story later on. It's already available on digital, folks. What else we have to cover? I don't know if anyone saw Super Mario.
There's just a lot of things that are happening, but it's literally it's
Dungeons
like
and Dragons.
It's what?
Dragons. We didn't talk about that yet.
Which one?
Mandalorian. We didn't talk about.
I'm like 4 episodes behind on Mandalorian.
What?
Yes. I'm also. I haven't watched any of Succession yet, and I preface this by saying, please don't put any spoilers in the chat. But now that I've heard something shocking happen in last night's episode, so now I have to catch up. So there's 3 episodes in the hold, so I'm gonna have to now start watching the 3 episodes to catch up for this coming Sunday. So.
Yeah. Careful those spoilers, folks. I remember. Remember The Good Wife? Did you ever watch The Good Wife?
No.
Oh no, you should check.
My wife loved that show.
It was actually really good, and then the follow-up show is actually really good as well. But there's a major spoiler in that, and I think I spoiled it too as well. I was like, oh man, this is like the episode was so shockingly crazy, and I just assumed everyone watched it, and I was in shock, and I mentioned it, and I kind of spoiled it for people. So you got to be careful of those. You get excited, you want to talk to people about things, you want to react, but I feel like we've been kind of living in this world of no spoilers. So hopefully we become accustomed to it. Fraser said he's going to go see Mario. So thank you everybody for tuning in. The Sidekick Show. We don't have a movie planned tonight. Although there was a new Guy Ritchie movie he's dropped on Amazon. Rob, did you watch that?
Yes, and that was, so it was interesting because that was hitting the US, the theaters, and then we in the Great White North were not privy to getting that release. And we were kind of talking about it, and I was really looking forward to watching it. It's called Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the people from The Gentleman, right? So it's directed by Guy Ritchie. And it's starring Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, Hugh Grant, Josh Hartnett, and some others.
There's a whole bunch of people who I think, I hate to be disrespectful or whatever, but used to be A-listers, like top earning stars, and then you have Jason Statham. No disrespect to Jason Statham, who's kind of just, I feel like he's maintained this level of not quite. He didn't get to be a superstar yet. He was in Hobbs and Shaw. But he hasn't really kind of dropped to the level of just disappeared. He kind of just
consistent.
Yeah. And then now these guys are kind of, I don't know if you want to say dropping to his level or just kind of, now he's getting to mix it up with these kind of like guys that maybe Hollywood wouldn't have put him in the same room with. So it's kind of cool. I'm interested to see it, Rob. So maybe we'll put a pin in that. Maybe we'll visit that later this month or maybe next week or something like that. But we don't have a particular movie, folks. So we're just going to be reacting to all kinds of breaking news that we had. There's a lot of stuff that happened right before the long weekend. So if you guys, breaking news, Lewis dropped his phone, which sucks. Yeah. That sucks, dude. I think he cracked his screen.
Yeah.
Which is pretty hard. I have a cracked screen protector, which is annoying the crap out of me right now. I got to replace that. But cracking your screen, that sucks, dude. Because you gotta throw the whole thing out, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but see, Lewis is smart. So Lewis has I guess he had an iPhone. He just bought a new one and they replaced it within a day. Remember that I told you the same thing happened to my son. Now, Lewis didn't give details about how it fell out, whereas my son decided to try to do parkour running up the side of a wall and it fell out of his stupid track pants. And it's so thankfully I had that the policy there so I could get it exchanged. You know what though? I think like Jason Statham, I feel like he's very consistent and he's in a lot of things. And I think he's a working actor. And I think a lot of people enjoy working with him because I think I think he gives a lot to the scenes. He's got a lot of energy, but I think he does well with his co-stars. I think he's well liked. So that's why you see him in a lot of shit, man. Right? Like,
I heard I don't know why he didn't quite get that leading man, a kind of upper A-lister status that a lot of kind of guys that look like him and sound like him did get. Maybe it's because he has the martial arts stuntman background. Maybe they refuse to kind of do that for him. But yeah, he's good. Like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, one of my all-time favorites. He's a good performer. Like you never really watch something and go, he was the part that screwed up, right? It's never him. It's the rest of the movie.
I still maintain I love Wrath of Man. Like we do that like last year or whatever it was, and I really, really enjoyed that. In fact, I bought it digitally.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but Scott shouts out that he's a pretty good driver. Yeah, Transporter, one of our all-time favorites. Yeah,
have you seen the Transporter lately though?
No, we talked a little bit about this. You said you rewatched it.
Yeah, and it doesn't hold up as much.
You're saying it's not as good, but I think it probably would. It was very good for its time. But those type of action movies have progressed so far. Stunt driving, like John Wick alone, the Jack Reacher sequence. We all know a lot of these cars. Crip Shadow's hitting us with a whole bunch of emojis. Thank you very much. But anyways, folks, let's start off with how was your weekend? Since we're already kind of getting into it. Sorry, bad idea drinking soda while doing this. It's just gassing me up like crazy. But
better that way than the other.
Yeah,
you're sitting here talking on your. You're like, oh god.
Hold on a second. All right, but we're coming off a long weekend, folks. So a lot of stuff happened. We had a lot of things going down, but we want to find out what you guys got up to this past weekend. So if you guys got to go see Super Mario, it's not Super Mario. It's just called Mario, isn't it?
No, I think it's Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Super Mario Brothers. Okay, yeah. If you got to see Super Mario Brothers, if you watched, maybe you watched this Guy Ritchie movie we're talking about. or maybe you got to go finally see John Wick 4, or you got to see Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like not a lot of people saw Dungeons and Dragons. I'm very surprised. But let us know. But Rob, how was your weekend, man?
Yeah, it was good. Long weekend, right? So
Yeah.
The thing with long weekends, John, for those of us who are either married or have a significant other, is it just means an extra day that they book you to do shit you just don't want to do, John. So, and because this was the Easter weekend, a lot of family stuff, and I was just like, ugh, a lot of family. But it was good, So last week I had talked about not really being jazzed on The Night Agent, and I was like, you know what, I gotta watch this thing.
Yeah, we were kind of poo-pooing on it last week, right? We were kind of like, we don't get it, but people are loving it. Renewed second season. So Rob, you finished it?
Yeah, so what I did is I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this thing. Listen, as I said last week, my criticism holds the same. It feels very budgetary, and the acting sometimes takes you out of it. But if you can ignore that, there are moments in the show that are actually pretty decent. So much so that after episode 4, the ending of episode 4 kind of hooked me and helped propel me through the rest of the series to the point where I was like, you know what, this is actually really solid, and I'm glad that there's a season 2 coming out. Now, I'm not saying this is an epic show and it deserves to be in the upper echelon with like 24 or anything else of that, or The Wire. It's good for what it is. But I'm hopeful that we get a bit more higher quality production in season 2. But yeah, I was surprised actually how much I enjoyed it. So,
So surprising turnaround. Yeah, I think if you asked us midway through the season, we were kind of like, I don't get it. But I understand what Rob's saying, and a lot of people that I've talked to, it does have a hook to it, and you want to see these performers grow. So maybe they weren't the strongest performances out of the gate, but you got to give people a chance. Season 1s of things sometimes take a second to get rolling, and maybe we're not giving shows that chance anymore. So let me check in, because a lot of people are dropping in their stuff here. So Fraser said he had lots of food over the weekend. Fraser, let me know what your favorite thing that you ate on the weekend was.
Likely chocolate.
Yeah, no, was it? Well, maybe it was a good dinner, man. Was it a good steak dinner? Or I find, like, Rob, does boiled hot dogs with untoasted hot dog buns ever hit the spot for you? No?
I barbecue my hot dogs,
Okay.
I'll microwave them. I'm not a fan of
all right.
boiled hot dogs.
I don't know. Sometimes, there's this functions or whatever where they're just quickly boiling up a whole bunch of hot dogs, giving you the hot
Listen,
dog.
if that's the only thing, I would crush it, but my preference is barbecued. Because you know what I do, John? I cut the hot dog lengthwise, it splits open, and then I put cheese in there.
Oh, that's the hack.
If your kids eat cheese strings, just pull the cheese strings off and slide them into the hot dog. Boom, get yourself a cheese dog.
Yeah, with a scoop of chili on top, maybe.
Oh no,
Mujabak? I don't know. Mujabak? Watch John Wick 4. Yeah, we definitely all enjoyed John Wick 4.
I've seen it twice.
You saw it twice?
Yes.
Oh man, I think a lot of people have watched it multiple times. You think you would get tired of Keanu Reeves shooting people in the face, but no. Give me more. I'll take more. There's all kinds of news going around.
The movies I watch on the hub. Yeah. Face shots.
Different face shots. Fist 6 watched D&D movie twice. I'm with you. I love that movie. That movie was so much fun. I know, Rob, you probably didn't get a chance to see it yet.
I haven't. I tried to go. I thought about going this past week, and I didn't get a chance.
Yeah. So, but I saw it once, and I 100% would go second time. It's one of those movies you watch, and then if you discover a friend or someone hasn't seen it, you're like, oh, let's go, and you would probably go again. It's just a really fun movie. Yeah. So Shorty says he watched Super Mario Brothers. Great flick. My buddy Pat watched it as well. He said it was great too as well. I'm puzzled by these articles that have to be posted reminding people that it's a movie for kids. I'm like, I feel like people can figure that out.
It's a cartoon made by but who did
I think the critics were harsh on it. I think that's why this defensive articles and stuff have been coming out. It's like, dude, it's for kids. It's not going to make sense. They're going to take the Rainbow Road to the whatever in Super Mario World. It's not going to make sense because it's just fun. It's just based off the video game, right? No. Scott says he rewatched Top Gun Maverick at work. Dope. I should watch Top Gun Maverick at work. I feel like I haven't got the second rewatch in. Have you watched it multiple times?
I haven't. I will tell you though. So my son on Saturday before we went out for dinner at my in-laws, he was like, "Hey, I want to watch Batman vs Superman the extended edition," and I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "All right, man, I would watch it with you, but I want to play Miles Morales Spider-Man. I haven't played that game yet, so I'm like,
you can do both. You can watch and play."
No? Well, he watched it, and anyways, and then on Sunday he said he sends me a text Sunday morning, which is, you know, again, kids nowadays, that's how they communicate with you. He's like, "Hey, do you want to watch Justice League?" And I'm like, the 4-hour version, because I won't watch the Justice League one. And he's like, "Yeah." So, dude, we watched the 4-hour Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League on Sunday. And I'm watching it the entire time thinking, man, John's going to just roast me on Monday for watching this thing again. This is like,
you love that movie, Something Fierce. I don't know if I'm going to ever get that rewatch in. I keep saying I want to rewatch it in the black and white and all that stuff. I don't know if it's going to happen. But yeah, Scott's on his Love Is Blind train. I hear you, man.
So is my wife.
Yeah, but a lot of people love those shows, and I can see the appeal. It looks like the drama, the sexiness going on, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, but hang on. So I'm out to dinner on Friday night with my wife and another couple, and my wife starts trying to explain Love Is Blind, like the concept, and she's reiterating or recapping, an episode. And as she's doing it, like, we're all looking at her, and she's like, "I know the way it sounds like when I'm saying it, even I'm questioning why I'm watching it." But that's the thing. If you're trying to recap the show, and as you're doing it in your brain, it's processing what you're saying, and your brain's going, "What the fuck am I talking about?" Then you know that show is either A, gold, or B, just to be disposed of. And obviously, based on how the buzz is obviously gold, just not for me.
No, 100% guilty pleasure show. I think anyone watching it will admit that, but you know, damn if it isn't fun to watch. Imagine trying to explain to people what Jersey Shore was back in the day, that phenomenon. Lewis says Night Agent versus 6 Underground. I think I would rather watch Night Agent. I haven't gotten through 6 Underground, and it's like half the length. I don't know, something about that movie just doesn't work for me. Fist number 6 mentions Portable Door. I think I've heard of this before.
Never heard of it.
I'm not quite sure, but yeah, definitely British wizard film. British wizard film. Is that better? No, it's still not better.
Words are hard for you. I get it.
British wizard film. People talk like this. No, it's not working. Murder Mystery. This is the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston second one. Did you enjoy the first one, Rob?
No, I don't think I ever saw it. I think my son saw it. He watched number 2. He said it was okay.
Yeah. Scott, let us know what you thought of that one. Let's see. What is this? Chicken tostadas for the family. Oh, that sounds great. Sounds delicious. What the hell, John? Is it the accent, Scott, or what is it? Is it something else? I don't know. It's just agreeing with Rob's secret sauce. Yeah. No. Rob loves the secret sauce, right?
Oh. Whoa.
All right. Oh, sorry. That's Mitch. What's up, Mitch? Fraser said steak one night and brunch, and then Lager turkey dinner later. What's a Lager turkey? Is that where you infuse?
I think it means a large turkey dinner later that day is what he's trying to say.
Oh, but I thought it was beer infused.
Well, I think he's been drinking some beer tonight.
He's continued the party. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I see a lot of stuff going on in there. Let me do you see anything we want to hit quickly, Rob?
Well, okay, so somebody Physics said I don't want to watch the Flash movie or Shazam 2. Well, this is very interesting because I actually asked my son, I said, "Hey man, you're after like watching the Justice League, are you more jazzed now to watch Flash?" And he said he was. And I've spoken to some people who have gone to the movies recently, and I said, "Oh, what trailers are they playing in front of the?" And they, people said, "Oh, like this and the Flash," and they're like, "Yo, that Flash movie looks fucking sick." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm telling you, people are getting." I know, John, you're gonna laugh. And
this is the Rob train, folks. There was a hype train that Rob previously was on, and Michelle mentioned it here. Wonder Woman 84. That's the previous hype train that Rob was all over, and it didn't work out. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this pays off, Rob. I hope you're right. And Flash is so someone else mentions Jersey Shore. You just described it as trash. It was trash. I get you're not wrong.
No.
All right. Let's see. Murder Mystery. Yeah. So that's Murder Mystery. Murder Mystery was a reasonable watch. Beer infused infused turkey. Sounds interesting. It does. That's what I'm saying. Look, everyone's at Scott. So Fraser, let us know if this is what you did. Everybody's like, let's go. All right. So thank you everybody for sharing what you guys got up to this weekend, and thanks for participating in that. Rob, the only thing I checked out was, did you hear about the show called Beef?
Yes. Yeah. With
Ali Wong and Steve Ewan from Walking Dead. It's trending pretty high. A very high rating on, I think, Rotten Tomatoes or critically.
Yep.
Along those lines. A very large Asian cast, so I had to check it out. And it centers, like, did you hear what it's about at all, Rob? Or?
Yeah. I did. And I got okay. So first of all, how many episodes is it? Is it 10?
I don't know. I think I'm like I'm probably halfway. So yeah, I feel like it is at least 8 or 10.
Okay. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was quite funny. I thought it was a movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize then until about a week or so before it dropped that it was going to be an actual series. So now that you're halfway through, are you happy that it's a series, or do you think it would have worked better as a movie?
Yeah, my wife saw me watching it. She's like, "What? This is still going on? How come this is so long?" But I'm like, "Oh, it's a TV show." But yeah, I'm only partway through, folks. But it's intriguing. It centers around the idea that these two characters get into a road rage incident, and then I believe, I haven't finished it, but the rest of the series just revolves around them trying to get through their lives, and they kind of like are at each other, like kind of trying to get back at each other. So not only are they dealing with all the craziness that's going on in their own lives, they have this beef going on where they're kind of feuding with each other.
Right.
So it's really interesting. It gives me a little bit of a White Lotus vibe to it, where you're following these stories for other characters, but they're kind of tying together. So I'm interested to hear if anyone else checked it out, what you guys think. But I would describe it as kind of weird, but it does catch you. You do want to see more. You want to learn more about these characters. You're rooting for some of them and things like that. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah. Rob says beef. All right, sure. Yeah.
Nope, that's Scott. Not all Caucasians look the same.
Yeah. What?
It was Scott, not Rob.
No, I said Scott.
Nope, you said Rob.
Did I say Rob?
Yeah.
All right. Rob.
Yeah, buddy.
Scott. Or Scott. Okay. Anyways. All right. Thanks, folks. Hopefully you had a great long weekend. It got some good family time, some good eats, caught up on some things, and hopefully got a little bit of time to relax. With a 4-day weekend, you get that extra day to get your stuff done, and then everything closed on certain days. So hopefully you got to chill. So let's go on from there, Rob. What's going on new at the shop, and then we'll kick it off we'll just talk about new things that happen, folks. So if you've got some news stories, stay tuned, or you want to just hear everybody react to what we've got on tap. So at the store, we've got upcoming this week, we've got the new Magic the Gathering pre-release coming up, March of the Machine, brand new set. We're doing pre-release on Friday and Saturday. So if you are free and you love Magic, or you've often thought about playing Magic, this is a great event for you to jump in. So we're doing it Friday at 6:45 p.m. in the evening, and Saturday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So hit me up for that. But let's kick it. Rob, do you have a plan for the news, or do you want me to throw stuff at you?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, obviously the big thing that we'll probably talk a lot about is what happened this past weekend. With Star Wars Celebration. But I wanted to just kind of quickly talk. There's a few trailers that dropped. Maybe we'll mention those towards the end of the show. But I wanted to talk about this James Gunn quote that's been going around, and I feel like it's been misinterpreted and taken out of context. And so he was interviewed, and I don't know if it was Empire Magazine or whomever had interviewed him, and he talked about, the future of DC and this and that. And they kind of said, hey, have you ever, are there any talks that have happened with Marvel and DC? And he said, quote, I'd be lying to say we haven't discussed it. And then people like lost their collective minds at this. And there's also somewhere else in the quote, he talks about how he has to get, they have to get their house in order, so to speak, and figure out how they're doing things with DC before they ever consider going forward with this type of crossover. And then kind of elsewhere in the quote, we say, if anybody is going to do it, it would likely be with me. And again, some news outlets took all of his quotes and they rammed it all together to make it look like it was one big long sentence or paragraph, which is absolutely not what had happened. And I just kind of wanted to go over this a little bit because, I thought about this quote when it first came out, John, when he said, yeah, I'd be lying to say if there hadn't been discussions. But John, he could easily have been sitting in a room with Kevin Feige when he told him, hey, I'm going to be, heading over to DC. And I go, I wish you the best. It'd be great as we could work together. And one of them says, it'd be great if we could get DC and Marvel heroes just like that comic from the 90s, and they could fight off against each other. Like, that'd be a lot of fun. And that was it. And so that constitutes, John, a discussion. It doesn't mean
no. I'm saying that's the move, right? When you're at the dinner party or you're with coworkers or like a friend you have, and you do that thing where you shake your hands and oh yeah, we should definitely get together another time, and then you just leave and you never see them again for like 10 years straight.
Right. And so like it boggles my mind that this is like when people are just losing their shit and like, oh, what the hell is James Gunn doing? And you see people online. I'm like, well, hang on a second. Look at the conversation and take those quotes into the context in which they were attributed. Like, and yes, when he said if anybody could do it, it's going to be me, but he meant to say like, yeah, I'm here. I have a good relationship with the guys at Marvel. If anybody could potentially, I could help bridge that gap. Like, I don't know. There seems to just be this knee-jerk reaction to just want to like jump onto James Gunn or jump onto Warner's or DC or whatever it is and pummel them. And I don't really understand where this immediate instant rage comes from. But what are your thoughts on this whole thing, John? I mean, or do you even give a shit? I don't know.
I can see, because there's a lot of people who will like just want to hate on DC. So you start throwing stuff in like, oh, we're going to do a DC Marvel crossover. It's like, well, hold on, guys. You haven't even got your movies together. You haven't even lined up. So I can see why those people want to jump in and say something.
So what he said that though. Like he said, we have to get our
they got to get their house in order, right?
Yeah.
And then they can possibly consider something like this. Like they did do the comic back in the day. That's what everyone's referencing. Which my hot take on it is not a very good comic, to be honest.
Well, you didn't like Access as the focal point between the two?
Yeah, it was not well done. It was not even well received back then. I remember we used to be sitting on tons of copies of it.
Seriously, I always thought it was like a huge thing.
People bought into it, but there was a lot of copies floating around, so it wasn't like it just sold completely sold out and became the hottest thing on the planet. And then we used to carry the collected editions, and they sat there until they took them out of print, and now everybody under the sun wants it. Same with the Avengers Justice League crossover.
Right.
It just kind of sat there until they took it out of print for so long that everyone just, I guess, starved for it, right? But yeah, Michelle's exactly right.
Are you telling me my Amalgam comics aren't worth anything now, John?
I don't believe they are. I remember people used to be like, yo, I got the old Marvel DC #1, or Justice League Avengers #1 first print. And I'd be like, okay, good for you. I can't sell it. And if I sold it, it'd probably be in the $5 bin. Wow. So that's my semi hot take on it. That I don't think they'd be able to pull it off if they wanted to. Because who wins what fight? They couldn't handle it back in the day with the comics when I think people were voting who won.
Yeah,
each
it was votes. Yeah.
So they couldn't even spin it back then properly. So it just didn't. I wasn't happy with it. But yeah, I feel like they can't even do it right now. So whatever, push it aside. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Michelle's absolutely right. The clickbait headlines is the news cycle. I feel bad for the guys, like the kids growing up today, that basically have to live in this cycle where you have to fact check everything you read online. Which you should, folks. You should. Except when we tell you, we got the
you got to believe us.
Did he also mention in this interview something about superhero fatigue?
That was a different one. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where we were talking about superhero fatigue, and he said, "Yeah, it's a real thing." And he says, if you are not delivering, and again, I'm paraphrasing, so it's not a direct quote, but he said, if you do not deliver stories with a good plot, with heart, with with a good story, and it's all spectacle, then people are just going to tune out after a while because it's just too much. And so
if you're not going to make a good movie, people
and TV show.
People are tired of bad movies. That's what people are tired of, right? So the superhero fatigue, it certainly doesn't help. Actually, I don't know. I feel like the superhero has become a whole genre, like Westerns, I guess racing movies, sports movies, all that kind of stuff. Now there's the superhero genre. very clearly cemented. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of them, and they're just going to keep making them. And unfortunately, there's just so many of them come out that a lot of bad ones are just getting to the top right now, and people are watching them and just tired, right?
Yeah, but the problem with that though, and so the problem that we'll start to see, or we have been seeing, is that the movies ever since Endgame, the movies, like, especially with Marvel, the MCU Phase 4, haven't really been consistent. And then you start flooding the market with really shit movies. And whether you liked Bloodsport, was it Bloodsport, right? With Vin Diesel, Morbius, you had the Venom Bloodshot, sorry. You had the Venom movies. And I know they made bank, like Venom 1 and 2 made a lot of money. They've got that third one that's almost on production now. Yeah. But you had all of those movies, but you start flooding the market with all of it, and then you had the influx of these television shows, which people were all hyped for, but then they weren't able to carry that momentum. And so that's where I think the superhero genre, comic book movie genre, where it's different than Westerns, is that there's so much IP and ideas and pre-existing stories from 60 years that they can mine into movies. Westerns didn't really have that, right? Like they didn't have a well that deep to run into. But if you're not making good and compelling shit, and then everybody is just going to be focusing on how the crap, and they're not going to see the good. And then they're going to get tired and not care to see the good. So if I was Marvel, like I'd be dropping billions of dollars to get back the rights to all my characters from Sony and just putting a lid on all that shit. Like you've got Kraven the Hunter stuff coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year. You've got that Madam Web stuff going. Like Sony is just like shitting their Spider-Verse stuff everywhere. I don't mean the cartoon Spider-Verse, but their Spider-Man universe, derivative portfolio everywhere. And I think it's just going to bring everything down. Like, I think that's the problem, right? And, and we know that Marvel, made too many stupid shows for Disney Plus. We talked about this beforehand. We were worried about this was going to happen. Same with their Star Wars shows. So yeah, you got to rail it in, but it's so hard when a portion of your IP belong to another studio and they're just doing whatever they want to do, and it's bringing everybody down.
Yeah, and it's same argument with DC. Their house isn't in order, and they're dropping these crap ass movies like Morbius, right? So that's certainly not helping elevate any genre in any shape or form. So we'll look for. So we've heard a lot from James Gunn, so it's getting crazy. Did you see that article that said Thor wasn't in his plans to be in Guardians at all, and he was very thankful that Taika took Thor away from the Guardians?
Oh, really? Well, because but it's true. I mean, it doesn't seem to fit with his first two movies, right? So it makes a lot of sense. Fist 6. So that's why I'm done with Flash and Shazam. Just tired of it. Do something else. But I guess my counter to that though is I feel like the Flash movie looks to be something completely different than what DC's done before, and so I would be interested, Fist 6, to see if your tune changes once that movie drops and there's a lot of if it's as well received as what is being anticipated. I'm going to tell you right now, John, we're going to start hearing, we're going to hear
all
some
aboard the hype train.
Yeah, choo choo. We're going to hear some. I think we're going to hear a lot of buzz in the next week or two, because I believe that it's being shown in Vegas during the exhibitors retail for all the cinema owners. It's done. It's in the can. So you're going to hear a lot, I think, coming out of that exhibitor show in the next week or so. So we'll see. But I'd be interested to find out if Fist 6 would change his mind on Flash afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to be the Everything Everywhere All at Once superhero movie. But we'll see.
Let's quickly talk about these. Let's talk about these trailers that came out this week, John. First of all, we had, and we'll get to Star Wars Celebration in a second, but during the Star Wars Celebration, we did get a new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer. Did you happen to take a look at that?
No, I don't. Awesome. I don't care at all for Indiana Jones. Are you hype?
Yeah. Sorry?
Are you hype?
I'm not hype, but I am going to see. It was funny. So the guy, the couple we were with, the husband, he said to my wife, he goes, "Hey, I think we should all go see Indiana Jones when it comes out at the end of June." And my wife's like this. Oh, okay. Like,
Sure.
go. I don't really want to see it. Like in that, it's just not her thing.
That's basically the reaction when we like, what was the last 2 movies we saw? Dungeons and Dragons and John Wick 4. If they played the Indiana Jones trailer, the audience basically just watched the trailer and was like, why? Why is this happening? Like, I don't know.
I will say this new trailer that they released did look pretty good. It gave a lot more context to the show, the story. So, it has me a bit more excited than I was previously. What had me really excited, though, John, is there's 2 more trailers I want to talk about. One had me really excited, and one has you very excited. One that had me really excited was the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Did you see that one? It broke records for it being like the most viewed trailer in 20.
I think people are down with this movie. 100% people, and they're keeping it separate from all the, like, I don't know if it's because it's the animated, and it doesn't fall. No one is putting it in the same realm as any of the other live action stuff. So I think that's good. I think people are going to be hyped for this. Rob, are you super hyped?
Well, because it's funny though, their marketing's not saying it's part 1. We know it's part 1. There's a secondary part right. So I'm surprised.
That has me concerned. I do not look forward to the cliffhanger ending, but time flies so fast that second one is probably going to be out before we know it.
Well, I thought it was really funny though the way they did the memes. They really overhyped that whole the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked to see where this one goes. It looks like Spider-Man. What's the guy from the future? 99 and whatever it is.
Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, it looks like he's really involved, which is it's so fun. Okay, also 2099. I mean, let's face it, we're only like 77 years away from that, 76 years away from that. I feel like there's a lot more technology that needs to be devised before that fucking. And the one that you, John, were messaging me privately about and were super hyped for was the Barbie trailer. I mean,
dude, I don't get this. I don't get it. I don't know who this movie's for. I don't know what story it's trying to tell. I don't know how you fill 2 hours with it. So if you got this Barbie trailer, Rob, do you get it? Like, what am I missing? I don't.
It looks like Barbie's trying to enter the real world. I think she's trying to. I think it's probably going to be reminiscent of the Lego Movie. She's trying
you think they're trying to basically break out, like it's meta, right? So they're like, look at all these girls are called Barbie, all these guys are called Ken. Let's try and drive to the edge, and then they get bounced back in. They try to escape or something like that. You think that's what they're doing?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's interesting. I don't understand what the point of a trailer isn't to give you fully the full plot, but it's enough to make you say, "Oh, that's intriguing." Something about this makes me want to see it. Aside from the visuals of this movie, because I think it pops. So you do think you're watching a Barbie toy commercial come to life. So it's very vibrant. But aside from that, I don't know what the plot is. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah. There's multiple Barbies, multiple Kens. Okay, whatever. Listen, it's not something I'm going to watch. And my kid, listen, my daughter is way outside that. So I don't
that demographic now. Yeah. How much of a shame is it that they're not using this Barbie girl song from Aqua?
Oh, but see, this is the thing though. Why people are all like, we're like, well, I don't understand why. But do you not remember that Mattel filed a lawsuit against Aqua with respect to that whole, that was a legal battle with that song and Mattel, who are the makers of Barbie. Of course they're not going to use that song. It's not.
But but everybody's going to mention it. And I thought maybe because the song kind of has some adult, I guess, themes, like the lyrics. But then they had that whole joke in the trailer. It's like, we're gonna beach off or something like that.
I'm gonna
right?
beat you
we're
off.
Gonna have a beach off. No, I'm gonna beach. It was really bizarre, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is not for kids, right?
What's the rating on this movie? Innuendo-ish so that way the parents aren't bored silly. Here's the thing: if they do play that song, John, it's going to be somewhere deep at the end of the movie. So I might.
No. I think you're absolutely right. They're not going to touch it. There was some legal stuff, and it's not going to happen. So I look forward to Aqua releasing a new song just to coincide with the.
I think
movie.
that they all fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Nick says he's hyped for the Power Rangers.
Oh yes.
That drops on Netflix later this month. So this listen, I'm outside of the age group of Power Rangers but I did watch it. So I was like in my late teens, early 20s, but I did watch it. I remember working at the video store and we had like the packs of cards with the bubble gum. And this guy, Dave, I used to work with, he was always going through and like buying all these damn cards and going through to get the collection of stuff. I ended up watching all those episodes on Fox. Like I even went to the movie when the Power Rangers movie came out with Ivan Ooze. But yeah, so I thought it was really funny when I watched the trailer for this new reunion, and it's like it's not even an updated version. It's just literally like, it looks like a sequel to the original series. That was pretty funny. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. But are you hyped for this Power Rangers?
I think it looks pretty fun. Again, I just missed the Power Rangers era. My brother was super into it. So yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Get out. I'm gonna definitely check it out. My daughter actually caught us watching the trailer, and she's like, oh, because they've done kind of like they've brought these characters back in a lot of the newer generation shows and stuff like that. So they've laid the groundwork to have this appeal to a lot of people. I know a lot of people were talking about what's her name, Amy Jo Johnson, not appearing, and originally. Before his passing, Jason David Frank was not attached to this as well because of various reasons. A lot of people will just assume they didn't offer these people enough money, but there's all kinds of different reasons. And I think she took to socials to say that it's not about the money. It was something else, which you got to respect. So I think a lot of people are going to have fun with this, and I look forward to some more Power Rangers action getting in there. So what else we got, Rob?
Okay, so obviously this past weekend, John, was big news at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin. In all fairness, we probably should have had Andre on to talk about this. But here's a couple of things that we can just run down very quickly. Yeah. We saw the trailer for Ahsoka with Rosario Dawson. I love her, man. I got like a crush on Rosario Dawson.
She's another excellent performer, no matter what you see her in.
Yeah,
she crushes it, no matter how bad the project. Right.
Yeah.
So
that drops in August of this year. So the Ahsoka trailer. Did you happen to catch that?
Yes, I definitely watched this trailer. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of Rebels characters.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. Some mystery Sith guy or another Jedi evil bad guy. Got a beard. I guess beards make you evil. I don't know. But yeah, it looks pretty promising. Yeah, it looks really promising. Yeah.
And I think that people were really excited because you saw the back of, and listen, I'm going to apologize to everybody. I don't know. I never really cared for Rebels or Clone Wars. So I don't know the names of all the characters, but Thrawn, right? Is it Thrawn or Thrawn?
Yeah. Admiral Thrawn. Or
and people
General
were like,
Admiral, depending on where the story
back. And they were like, oh, who's playing it? And then they confirmed it I guess it was on Sunday. Saturday, that Lars Mikkelsen, who has done the voice work for Thrawn in the cartoon series, will be the actor doing for live action. So people were really excited about that. So also we got word on, so there's a couple other TV series. There's The Acolyte, which takes place, I believe, sometime after the Old Republic, which they said, so they're filming it right now. And they apparently showed off some footage. It hasn't leaked online yet. But they had kind of, I don't know if it's Kathleen Kennedy or one of they said it's Frozen meets Kill Bill, which I don't even know how you get that, John. I don't know how you get Frozen, Let It Go matched with Tarantino's Kill Bill, but I don't know, whatever. They also talked about Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which is with Jude Law, which looks like he's like the mentor to a bunch of like teens or tweens or whatever. I don't really know the whole story with that, but they're all flying around in the ship. They talked about 3 new movies. So Kathleen Kennedy confirmed new series Star Wars films are on the way. The directors are James Mangold, Dave Filoni, and Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy. Now, The Mangold movie will be based around the dawn of the Jedi, like the very first Jedi. I don't know.
Okay.
His name is Marvin. I don't know. The very first Jedi, and then I guess it goes into the old.
I would go with Phil. Phil the Jedi. Phil the original Jedi.
Phil the Jedi, or James the Jedi. Or maybe his name is like Jedi and you know, Jebediah. And
I was gonna say Jebediah Springfield.
So that's James Mangold's project, which, as a side note, he's also working on DC Swamp Thing, and I think he just confirmed it. They're both written. He's already written the script for both those projects. Yeah. Okay, Filoni's project is going to be based around the New Republic. And the Obeyed Chinoy film, which I think is going to be the very first film they put in production, will take place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. And we will see the return of Daisy Ridley's Rey, who will tell the story of the rebuilding of a new Jedi Order. So that's like the first movie. It sounds like that they're going to try to push through and get it into production sooner than later. Daisy Ridley came out on stage to thunderous applause. So we have a lot of information just there, John. 3 movies, those couple of those TV series. We can go to the TV series. Do you care anything about those series that are coming out?
No, they're too early for me to care, other than the Ahsoka Tano trailer, because that's right around the corner. Those other ones, nothing really rung a bell to my memory of that stuff. If you said something was coming along the lines of Knights of the Old Republic, then sure, that would catch my attention. But since it's one is pre and one is like after or something like that, they kind of like skipped it. So yeah, no, the TV shows don't catch me yet. So I'm sure they didn't really catch you either.
Yeah, I mean, the Ahsoka one looks pretty cool. Listen, I can't help but be intrigued at this Frozen meets Kill Bill thing. I'm hoping it's not like, you know what the worst would be is like, oh, okay, then you watch it and you realize it's viscerally violent, which is like, yes, but they're all singing, and then I'll be like,
oh, that would be fantastic.
That'd be horrible.
I think that would be fantastic. I think Fraser said, "Do you want to kill a snowman?" Yeah, call up Kristen Bell and Dina Menzel and cook up some tracks. Disney, let's go.
Okay,
the movies,
right?
Movies have me interested, especially the Daisy Ridley return. I really did. I think we both agree that Force Awakens is actually a fairly enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Despite everything that followed it afterwards. So hearing that she's going to return is, I think, pretty exciting. I thought she did a really good job in that role as one of the newcomers, I guess, of that era. And then I proceeded to see a whole bunch of news articles pop up that, fans want to see Kylo Ren come back. Fans want to see John Boyega come back. And I'm like, so you just want the exact cast from before that everyone hated on so much. Like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You can't say, I hate this new trilogy. And then like when one comes back, it's like, let's bring everybody back. It's like, well, you don't just get a reset. Yeah, sure. Would you want to see anyone else come back, Rob? Or you think they should stick to one?
Bring the Emperor back. He's been cloned 8,000 times. No, you know what? Like, you know what? What was the? No, I couldn't care. It doesn't. I don't care. It's a whole new. But the interesting thing for me though is that, John, does this continue the Skywalker saga? Because at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, she adopts the name Skywalker. So now
they should have just done that earlier. No.
So now, So now is this?
Or actually, I think a lot of people like the idea that she was a nobody that became a Jedi, right? There's 2 camps, I think.
So now, like, I'm just like, okay, so the Skywalker saga, I thought was only supposed to be the 9 films, and that was it. But now is it 9.5? I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see the James Mangold one with the first Jedi. Would be interesting. I would hate for it to be like he doesn't discover his powers until the very end of the movie, and you're like, you spent 2.5 hours this guy being like, I feel weird, nothing happening, somebody's chasing him, and he's like, I feel weird, and all of a sudden he's like, he's like moving walls and using force powers, and he's like, what is this? And it's like end credits, right? So that'd be shitty, but I highly doubt. I mean, listen, James Mangold, just finishing touches on the Indiana Jones stuff. So we'll see how this goes. And then the Filoni one that takes place kind of outside of the events of the Mandalorian. So like so first of all, one is that there's been no confirmation. I was waiting to see if they're going to make confirmation later on the weekend because weirdly enough, Celebration just ended today. No mention of Mandalorian season 4. So are we done after this current season? I don't know. And also weirdly enough, the Celebration, they didn't mention anything that hasn't already been filmed. So like there's no new shows that haven't already been filmed or are filming right now. We got no word on it. Like what was that Vision? Was it Star Wars Visions, the anime stuff, right? So like
Visionary,
season 2 is coming out this May, on May the 4th. And the Bad Batch has been renewed for a 3rd and final season. But those are already in production. Again, Acolyte and everything else, they're in production. There's no word on any future shows or continuing seasons of these future shows. So does the Mandalorian, does all that stuff shift to the movies? I don't know. Who knows? But on Dave Filoni's movie. But as we always say, John, and our friend Andre said this in the chat privately that we have as well, let's wait to see if these things actually come about, because how many Star Wars movies have been
That's why talk is cheap, right? Do you want them to announce a bunch of things that they aren't going to deliver on again? I think they should start closing the doors a little bit on what's revealed, but we're in this age of information. A lot of people in the comments mentioned that they did quite enjoy the cast of those newer movies, but they just got trash stories. So Cripshaw here makes a good point that the previous cast that has suffered the slings and arrows of those movies not being well received, maybe they should be rewarded and given a good movie, a do-over, right?
You know what? Here's a question though. Like, okay, so when you and we grew up watching the original trilogy, but we weren't old enough I think I saw Jedi in the theater. In 84.
Damn, you old, don't you?
In 84. In fact, I know for certain I saw Jedi in the theater, which by the way is coming back to theaters April 28th, John.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a second. So anyways, we grew up with the original ones, and then when the prequels came, when they remastered them at 97, 98, 99, we were like, what the hell? What's going on? All these special effects. It's like, why is Han Solo walking on top of Jabba the Hutt in episode 4? What's going on? And then
I was like, it's fine. He can step over.
It was just ridiculous. And then
you incorporated him stepping over this box. I'm like, really?
And then you had the prequel trilogies come out. So the prequel trilogy, everybody hated, but over time, people have come to love them. And my son watched them and he loved them. And so the people who watched them who were younger in the early 2000s when it came out, who are now in their mid to early 20s or whatever, they look fondly on those. And I can't help but wonder if these sequel trilogies, 7, 8, and 9, in 20 years' time will be looked at with a whole new lens. And people are like, you know what? Those movies are actually really good. Just like the prequel trilogies are looked at now. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I still haven't watched that last movie of that previous trilogy. Like, you know what I mean? But it's whatever you grew up with. Might have the strongest, but I don't know. I don't think people are going to feel the same about Force Awakens, whatever the hell the other two were called. You know what I mean?
The Last Jedi.
I feel like
Rise of Skywalker.
I think there's too much choice. Like the playing field was way more narrow, I guess. Even back episode 1, 2, and 3, just nowadays we get so much content that everything's just going to get lost. I think if it's not, super well received at the gate. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I hear you. A lot of people do say my favorites are actually, like, when you talk to the younger guys, especially, my favorites are episode 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And in your head, you're like, what?
But like Fraser, I know, but that thing, Fraser's like, no, there's no redeeming 7, 8, 9 films. The problem is that they weren't necessarily made strictly for us. We are of the generation of the original trilogy with some forgiveness and somewhat of an acceptance of the prequel trilogy, depending on your age. Mm-hmm. But my son's age are going to grow up and they're going to probably look back on these sequel trilogies with a lot of enjoyment and pleasure that we aren't. We're just outside of that age group. That's just the reality of things, right? But that goes back to when we were kids, John. We watched Return of the Jedi with Endor and the Ewoks, and for its 40th anniversary, the movie is coming back into theaters on April the 28th. Now, I'm going to take a quick look now while we're talking. I haven't seen anything hit in Canada yet, but tickets are supposedly either on sale or will be on sale. Would you go back and still nothing on Landmark in Canada?
I don't know. This is the third one, right? Considered the weakest of the 3 original movies, right? A lot of people hate them Ewoks. Right. But I remember loving them when I was a kid. Like Wicket all the way. He was a cool dude. I don't know. I think it would have to line up for me. I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to make sure I can see this one. If it was either of the other 2, if it was either New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, 100% I'm clearing off whatever I have to clear off to go see that. Because it is probably going to be very limited showings. It's probably going to be like 1 or 2 showings during that month. If we get it to Canada, it's not going to be like it's going to be on deck for like 3 nights in a row, right? So, Rob, would you clear off your schedule for the third one, or
if my son really wanted to go see it, I would go, but I don't need to see it in the theater. It's interesting because I saw that on April the 20th, my local Landmark here, they have the Return of the King. They're showing that Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And I was like, what? At 7:00. And I was like, I went to go see how many tickets. I was like, I would go check that out again in the theater. And it's completely sold out.
Which one is that? Is that the third one of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was completely sold out. I would have taken my son to go see that because I love watching that in theater. So I think it's going to, listen, I think Return of the Jedi will totally sell out if and when it comes up here. But listen, I went and saw Jaws back in the summer, right? They remastered it, and I went and saw that. Took my son because I was like, I never saw Jaws in a proper theater. I saw it in a drive-ins, but I never saw it in a proper theater, so I got to watch it, and that was a lot of fun. This for Return of the Jedi, I don't know. I get
the poster looks fire though. I don't know if that's a new redone poster or whatever.
Gorgeous.
It's a really good looking poster, guys. Look it up. Return of the Jedi, new movie poster, whatever.
Fraser's killing me here.
It looks amazing.
Fraser says AJ just redid New Hope with the Genesis. Okay, listen, I don't want to talk about the content or the plot of Force Awakens, but I think putting all the blame on the director of these movies, we're completely ignoring the writers, the producers, the studio, and this and that. I don't know how much creative input the directors always get on some of these projects, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, let's check out if there was anything else that was at Star Wars Celebration, John. I don't think so. Do you have anything? I think that was kind of, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of information with Star Wars that came out, but I think we blew through it pretty quickly. Yeah, I don't know. That was about it. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing was like Daisy Ridley is back, and then fans want everybody else back too. So I guess this cast does have some clout that and people want to see them get a second chance or a reinvigoration, even though it just happened to them. Some people are only getting their redemption now in the Star Wars TV shows from Disney Plus. So shout outs to the guy who played Jar Jar and all that. They're getting a little something extra. But yeah, I didn't really have anything else, Rob. But I did have a Batman related news. If you want to hear some Batman related news.
You've piqued my interest, John.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's close it out with this.
By the way, this color pattern I'm using on my Nano Leafs, it is the Batman color pattern. Yes. Yeah.
So apparently Taylor Swift, Rob, was very inspired by Robert Pattinson's 2022 movie, The Batman, and is going to feature a lot of the buildings and things used in that movie in her new music video. So she apparently is going to be coming out with a Batman-esque music video. I see it by the look of your face. You're super excited to see some Batman content.
You know, you have me really excited. I was thinking, what's he going to talk about? Because I knew that there was stuff on the Penguin TV series that's currently filming, and I was like, no, he's not going to bring that up. Is he going to talk about like the new movie? Like we talked about the Clayface story 2 weeks ago. It can't be that. What's he going to bring up? I should have known.
You were like, how is there the Batman news that I haven't been privy to?
I should have known. I feel like I just got catfished.
Are you gonna watch the video if it pops up?
No.
No. What if it has a tidbit? What if it has a tidbit for the second movie?
No, it's not official Batman. No, it's not like this is not like the Prince stuff. Nope, not watching it.
Oh man.
Hey, speaking of that though, when does Heroes World get the Batman Hot Toys figures in? Aren't they?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
I can try and look it up.
If only you were the owner of the store.
Batman.
The what?
The Robert Pattinson one, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I thought it should be coming out soon. No.
You would think, because the movie got delayed, and then the Hot Toys didn't even have a chance to catch up. I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, so while you're looking up at that, I do have a question. I have a question for you with respect to Hot Toys. Do you feel that they are just making too many characters? Kind of like, and I thought about this, I saw some of like the Hot Toys stuff that's coming out, the pre-orders, all these different characters from these different shows, these obscure characters from these shows and these movies. I'm like, whoa, really? They're making one of that? And then I started thinking about the story that we talked about a few weeks ago with Funko having oversaturated the market and having to dump like 13 million units. They're going to have to throw into a landfill waste because they can't sell them. So do you think Hot Toys is following the same route that Funko did by just making too many of these obscure characters? Also, so late, like 2 years down the road, these things are coming out.
I think that's the issue. They have to get the timing to line up better. Because we just got the new Bo-Katan Hot Toys for an example, right? And the new Bo-Katan Hot Toys, based off of her appearance in The Mandalorian, and now she's reappeared in season 3, and she looks almost completely different. I don't know how much of the season you've watched, but she's got completely different hair, and her look has changed. So we're getting a figure from season 1 that she appeared? I don't even remember.
Season 2, I thought.
Maybe season 2. Yeah, we're just getting that figure now. And like you said, this Batman figure for a movie that was, how long was the Batman delayed for?
It was supposed to come out in 2021. And it came out in 2022.
Yeah, so it was a year delay, which, I thought it was more. But this Hot Toys should be out. We're on like the verge of getting the design. Like, has the design for the costume for number 2 been revealed yet?
No.
So it's like, by the time we get it, there's like a million Batman things. So Batman was like probably the worst thing I could look up right now.
Really? I thought banana hammock might have been the worst thing you could look up.
You could look that up, but you'll only get one result.
Okay, so at any rate, the Batman Hot Toy figure, the Robert Pattinson Batman, is coming to Heroes World probably within the next 3 months, within the next 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months.
We would hope so. I wanted it yesterday. This is the only problem I really have with Hot Toys right now. Make all you want, and we'll order whatever people ask for, but don't make them wait 2+ years for that thing to come out.
Yeah, because the Michael Keaton Batman that you had showcased here back in February. Towards the end of February, it's like a reissue of the 89 Batman. It's their version 2. It's not coming out until September of 2024. And that damn movie is coming out this June. And it's kind of like, well, what the hell, man? Like, why couldn't they have figured out the timing and had it come out like this year? You know what I'm saying? Even if it was for like the holiday season. Instead, you're having to wait a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can't find this damn thing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You probably didn't order.
Oh, here we go. Let's go. I tried to look it up on my wholesale site properly.
Right.
It says April to September 2023, so it's right around the corner in theory if it's on time.
Right.
So that was that movie. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I think we've exhausted all of our conversation topics today. You weren't even looking at hot toys. You were looking at something weird.
Yeah, I was reading up on other stuff, and I just
Jennifer Aniston.
it's Adam Sandler. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk next week about them replacing Mira in Aquaman 2 with a dolphin. I don't know if you saw that article, but yeah, that'd be a humorous switcheroo.
I don't think
they just have a talking animatronic.
Yeah. All right. So, do we have any homework for our friends next week or no, John? I think we're gonna.
Do we want to try for that Guy Ritchie movie next week? Do you guys want to watch that new Guy Ritchie movie on Amazon, or you want to just chill?
Yeah, maybe we do another week of chilling. Let me see. What next week is the 17th, right?
Yeah.
I felt like there was something that we were supposed to watch or we were going to watch, but I can't think of what it is. So why don't we just? I don't really care, John. We can. You know what? Maybe we should try to get Stu and we can do like a live review of something.
We're gonna play some catch up, folks. So if you haven't seen, if we don't have time to do the Heroes World podcast, the John Wick 4 and all the other stuff that came out, we'll probably try and hit something like that. So look forward. Check our socials. We'll announce something, or we'll do another kind of like favorites of whatever list. So thank you everybody for giving us your Monday evening on the holiday. Thanks for everybody who dropped in and rated the channel for a second there. That got a little nuts. So appreciate you guys participating. It was a lot of fun to see a lot of kind of like input in there. And shout outs to y'all. I hope you had a good long weekend. And my daughter's poking me in the ear. So Rob, let's sign us out.
All right. Well, listen, for those who just joined us for the first time, Crypto Shadow and some of the other ones, Fizz 6 and whatnot. Thanks for and I think your guy Mitch, right?
Yeah.
And Shorty Paint Studios. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Maybe you can come and join us next week, Monday night, every Monday night, live 8:15 p.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook. You guys came in from Twitch, so that's pretty cool. Michelle, good night. It was nice seeing you. Lewis, as always, I'm glad you got 19 different accessories for your new phone. Fraser's going well, and Scott is back to watching Love is Blind season 4. That's why he logged off, I think. So, John, it's good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Mr. Rob. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Better than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Voltron, right?
Voltron, no, get out. Actually, Voltron's pretty cool.
That's right.
Yeah.